she witnessed her own father, his wife, Jacqueline. After being caught and arrested in Texas, the two were extradited to Maryland to face and other charges. So after Keith and Valeria's arrest, Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh took great issue with the fact that they had gone on TV multiple times and falsely blamed the homeless panhandlers in Maryland.
I'm trying to figure out why the daughter lied.
So in September, Valeria pleads guilty to accessory after the fact as part of a cooperation agreement with the state. Valeria testified that Jacqueline was asleep in the front seat when Keith pulled over and began her. On February 28th, Keith was sentenced to life in prison for his wife. Keith and Valeria have just forensically been proven in a lie about that night, that they were not where they said the attack happened.
What do you do next?
When police found this out, they determined that a day or two after Keith went to Jacqueline's workplace to get paperwork for her life insurance policy in which he was the beneficiary. Detectives very quickly grew suspicious of Keith and his story. Police confirmed that at some point, Keith had been trying to plot to have his wife, and then later she turns up and he says it's Panhandle. On March 3rd, 2019, Keith and Valeria Smith are arrested in Texas, only 20 minutes from the Mexico border.
No way.
Apparently, they claimed they were just on vacation. At some point after the arrest, Valeria admitted that the panhandler story was completely false and that she witnessed her own father stab his wife, Jacqueline. We see husbands kill their wives all the time. So if Keith really did kill Jacqueline this night, why in front of his 28-year-old daughter, and why would she lie about it?
Correct.
So the next day, the police received the cell phone information from Keith and Valeria's phones, including not only their call histories, but also their locations. No information is provided for the location of Keith's phone, but perhaps that's because there was no activity on his phone from 9:30 p.m. until he called 911 after midnight. However, Valeria's cell phone was pinging in a different location than Keith and Valeria said they were that night.
Okay.
So Keith and Valeria have just forensically been proven in a lie about that night, that they were not where they said the attack happened.
How do you get out of that? At that point,
What do you say?
What do you do next?
Right. So if Keith really did kill Jacqueline this night, why in front of his 28-year-old daughter? What does she have to do with it?
Why is she lying?
The police went to the hospital to review surveillance footage. The police interview Keith and Valeria again. They take their second formal statement, and the details of Keith's account of this were again slightly different this time. Law enforcement personnel reviewed video footage from 27 cameras around the area described, and detectives were unable to locate Keith Smith's vehicle on any of the cameras.
Wow.
Keith and Valeria consent to having their cell phones searched and information extracted. The subsequent latent print comparison determined that the latent prints on the outside of the car were that of Keith Smith.
Got it.
No strangers' prints were on the outside of the car.